Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown giving full endorsement to
Starting promotion, radio.
The station with integrity, the station with a difference. Remember me tell you, Lloyd Brown says so. Full Darcy.
Starting promotion, Riot Blend Radio.
We not stop till we drop. Zane, bless.
Why not tune in to the SPRB Radio Podcast Zoom Experience with 10-Star General and Sharon Mango.
Bang! Never soul from a tribe of Shaka, so Ethiopia, Africa, when I laugh, when I linger, when I play, in that time you say it. Original Rising Awareness show, we are talking about 10-Star General, Yaman, Sharon, Mango. Bang, bang! Turbulence to the future. Only man you like King Selassie, Joe! Rastafari, keep it accurate and royal.
Greetings, my beautiful people. This is Shezzy, raising the awareness with 10-Star General and Sharon Mango. Tune in and keep it locked.
We can't go any further without playing this jingle.
Yes.
Greetings, SPRB friends and family. I'm Nana Genesis, and I fully endorse 10-Star General and Sharon Mango.
Yes.
All of my lonely life, I dream of you. You're like a fairy tale, a wish come true. So many times I tried to let you know I'm glad you're mine, but still it's hard to see the burning flame inside of me, 'cause I love you. Why should I leave you? If I love you, why should I leave you? Maybe I failed to make you understand how much you mean to me. You're part of every plan. In every way you help me through the problems of the day. Why can't I make you see everything part of me? 'Cause I love you. Why should I leave you? If I love you, why should I leave you? So many times I tried to let you know I'm glad you're mine. Why can't I make you see everything a part of me? 'Cause I love you. Why should I leave you?
Yeah.
If I love you, why should I leave you?
Greetings, my beautiful people. This is Shezzy, raising the awareness with 10-Star General and Sharon Mango. Tune in and keep it locked.
There were no chains to bind our hearts together. Love was all I had. Love was all I had.
Wait a minute. Pull it up again. Pull it up again. Pull it up again. You know, I had totally forgotten that Sister Audrey sang songs like this, man. I tell you.
Oh, no.
I had to.
Oh, yes.
Let's play that one more time. One more time for the Queen.
There were no chains to bind our hearts together. Love was all I had. Love was all I gave. There were no mountains to keep us far apart. Love was all I had. Love was all I gave. And oh, what a feeling I've had since you're gone. My lonely days are long, and My nights are blue. Always respect, my dear, it's due to you. Love was all I had, love was all I gave. So the people say that our love will be true. Love was all I had, love was all I gave. And oh, what a feeling I've had since you're gone. My lonely days are long, and my nights are blue.
Bang! Never soul from a tribe of Shaka Soul, Ethiopia, Africa, when I laugh, when I linger, when I play, in that time you say it. Original Rising Awareness show, we are talking about 10-star general, Yaman Sharon Mango. Bang, bang, turbulence to the future. Holy man, you like King Selassie, Joe! Rastafari, keep it accurate and royal.
I know Sharon loves that jingle right there.
I love that one because I really love Tony. I think he's great. Thank you.
Right, let's come to our guest. We have a very important guest who over the last couple years, it must be close to at least under 10 years that I've been trying to get Sister Audrey on my show. It's been a difficult task. And then I remember, and I have to say this, I remember seeing the great legend herself, Rankin Ann, on Facebook. I had a conversation with Rankin Ann. She came on my show, and lo and behold, ever since that time, she said, you need to get Sister Audrey on your show. Ever since that time till now, I've been trying to get you on my show. And lo and behold, we made it happen due to the intervention of Rankin Ann.
Yes.
If it wasn't for Rankin Ann, we wouldn't have gotten Sister Audrey.
Yes.
It's like you don't do interviews or you run away from interview. Why go on?
Did I say that? I didn't say that.
See that right there? Silence is
So we
gold.
want to big up Rankin Ann for her intervention and really, doing everything she could to make it happen. And here she is.
Yes.
So, big respect to Rankin Ann for her intervention.
Big respect, Rankin Ann.
Yeah. Sharon Mango, please introduce yourself.
Well, greetings, one and all. We're seeing that we got quite a few people in here, which means they recognize the fact that the Nubian queen, Miss Audrey, is in that house. Why, they can't tell you. My name is Sharon Mango. Well, let me rephrase that. I am the original Sharon Mango. Let me get that right. We are the original, I really been name.
I knew that was coming.
Yes. Representing SPRB Radio and Royal Blend Productions. And we are welcoming and honoring our Nubian queen, Sister Audrey, in the house. Thank you so much for doing this interview. You may never do another interview again, because we is one of a kind. We're not business about nobody else. Yeah, they're feel sure. That's how that is important.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and greetings and blessings to everybody in the room. Rankin Ann, my sister from another mother, thank you so much for making this happen. We love you, love you, love you. And to everybody in the room, let me see, it's DJ Maestro. Herline is back in the house. Of course, another amazing sister, Beverly Notes. Sharon, is Sharon being there? Sharon B's here, right?
I can't see her.
Oh,
we have a family in the building, the SPRB team, Rankin Ann and Beverly.
Nana Genesis, sister, thank you.
DJ Maestro.
Yes, we got some amazing people in here today.
We have Hurling all the way from St. Anne's in Jamaica. We have everybody here. We have Marty Lichmum. We have Nana Genesis, Nev, Stephen, Val. What's that? Winnet. Who else have I missed out?
Nev.
Everybody who is here, we want to
Val.
thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wait,
It means a lot.
Who did you say is in St. Anne?
Hurling.
Hurling, is it? What? She's in my family's home. She's in my hometown. What you say? St. Anne. Yes, we have to talk about that later. Anyway, yes. Greetings and blessings to everybody here.
Hurling in the building, and thank everyone for being here.
Yes.
Right. One of the reasons why we do these shows, and especially after me being away for 3 years from the industry, I said if I was going to come back, I wanted to make a difference. And this is one of the differences why I wanted to do this show.
Yeah,
and she's sitting right here before us.
Yes.
Queen Sister Audrey.
Yeah.
Sister Audrey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed at this very moment. I have to say that. Yes.
We put a lot of emphasis on your name because of your dedication to the music industry. We recognize that. We've recognized that for a long, long time. This show is about honoring people such as yourself who've really put your dedication into the industry. So rather than wait for anyone to give you your honor and your respect and your flowers, we don't wait until you're dead.
Wow.
We give it to you now.
Yes.
So, we're gonna make noise about you. We're gonna go crazy about you. We want you to know, that, hey, you know what? We honor you in life. Because right now you have life. If I'm saying anything out of line, Sharon Mango, you have to put me right,
No, you're saying the right thing. We're telling you the truth. It's really, we're here to honor you. We don't care if anybody else has or has not. We're here to honor you and let you know what you've done for us in this industry, what you've done for us as Black English, Black British, whatever they want to call it, born of Jamaican parentage or Caribbean parentage. You have definitely made that difference for us. You were one of the pioneers in the game, and we have to honor you and let you know and give you your flowers today.
Thanks. I feel really honored. Yeah.
So,
True talk. True talk.
Really and truly, I want to start this, but I'm going to say ladies before gentlemen.
Well, this is true too. So, my love, to call you my love because you are just in my heart. Sister Audrey, we want to go back in time and...
Sorry, Sharon Mango. Something tells me Sister Audrey is not going to blow her own trumpet, so you have to blow it for her, all right? You're going to have to blow it for her. That's one thing I've gathered, okay? So do your thing.
I'm just saying, yes, but we see that she's a very humble, a very humble lady, and we honestly respect that. That's what makes you you. Well, we're going to go back in time.
Okay.
We're going to go back in time and find out who is Sister Audrey? Who is Queen Audrey? What made you the way that you are? So we're going to start from mom, dad, your school.
Okay.
How you got into the business.
Ask her about the jukebox, the gram. What she played
we're going
on
to talk about the gram,
gram.
everything. We want to know everything. So,
let's
Audrey.
Remember it all.
Oh, you will. We're waiting for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, so where do I start? Parents are from Jamaica. They came up quite young, not in the Windrush, but in the 50s time.
Okay.
They were really young when they came. we're not a musical family as such, but we are. My uncle had a sound system. My auntie had the cellar. So as you know, in those times, there were nowhere for them to go and
Right.
So my auntie's house was one of the places where they had the parties. So I've always been around music from very young. Always loved to sing. Oh God, you have to talk. Yeah, always loved to sing and stuff like that. At school, I was in the choir. At church, actually, I was in the choir. And in primary school, secondary school, I did a few productions, plays.
Not to cut you, but what part of London?
We're in the southeast. I've always been in the southeast.
Okay.
Yeah, travel everywhere, but we settled in the southeast. So. Ask me the questions. It's easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We lost her. We lost her.
Oh, she's there. She's there. Tom fell. That's all right.
Oh, we definitely lost her.
Oh.
We'll get her back. Don't worry, she'll be back.
We're gonna get her back.
She'll be back. All right. Yeah, so thank you one and all for being here. We will get Sister Audrey back. She's obviously hit the off button or something of that sort.
Yeah.
So we'll get her back in a few. All right. Bear with us until such time. In the meantime, between time, we're going to play that tune one more time.
There were no chains to bind our hearts together. Love was all I had. Love was all I gave. There were no mountains to keep us far apart. Love was all I had. Love was all I gave. And oh, what a feeling I've had since you're gone. My lonely days are long, and my nights are blue.
Yes, she's back.
Like a comedy sketch. I just went to touch the thing, and the stand just went blam.
We realize. Don't worry, we're gonna get through this together.
Yeah. Your morning, and it tends to.
Don't worry, I've got my holy water on standby because you know it works. Anyway, Sharon, continue. We were talking about the gram.
Yes. So yes. Go ahead.
So, oh my gosh, the gram in the front room, there was, it was obviously everybody only had one gram, but they played every kind of music on this gram. Because there was at least 3 families living in the house, which made 3 families shared the gram. So I grew up on all kinds of music, from the latest reggae to Jim Reeves. I'm sure all families had Jim Reeves.
We all had Jim Reeves. Oh my God!
Everybody had talked about Jim Reeves. And I've always said one of my favorite Jim Reeves. Welcome to my world.
Oh yeah.
Won't you come on in?
Yes. And Boone, I think, as well. Pat Boone and...
oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I think my favourite one of Pat Boone was the Wang Dang Taffy Afro Tango. Do you know that?
How does that go?
Yeah. We did the Wang Dang Taffy Afro Tango.
Yeah.
Now, all of those tunes... we just had a real variety of music. And the family kind of, which we used to sing together as well, just almost, do songs together. Nobody wasn't really thinking of making it a career, but we did sing together. And we did kind of, the family kind of entertained each other at Christmas time and that. My uncle bought me a reel-to-reel when I was about probably about 13. He bought this reel-to-reel, and from then, yeah, we started making, because they love music, whether they play it or not.
Yeah.
So that's when I first started recording my voice, recording harmonies, recording everything, just recording stuff, playing it back. I think I went to the University of Sound System. That's where I created my, yeah, well, that's where it was, because we didn't have Brit School or anything like that we could show an interest. And furthermore, singing wasn't seen as a proper career by our parents. They wanted us to get qualifications and this kind of stuff.
Let me just chime in for a second, because I read where, you know, your parents had schooled you through reggae, you know. And now talk about that in particular, because we want to give our parents their ratings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Well, just basically, they had every reggae record that came out from, they used to get the pre-releases, and we kind of learned about places in Jamaica. We learned about a lot of things, food and stuff like that, through the music. They'd play and they'd dance and they'd explain things. Well, my mum would explain things, not so much my dad, but yeah, we learned a lot through that, because they were really serious about their music and dancing. They're really serious.
So you would be known as the first or the second generation in the UK. You were the first generation.
I think I'm the first generation.
First, okay. Continue, Sharon. Me butt in. Sorry.
Yes, you know you can't help it. Yes, it's all right.
Continue.
So, first of all, I don't think did I ask how many brothers and sisters were you just the only singer? Do you have?
Oh well, I had 2 brothers, 1 sister.
Okay.
My brothers passed. I have a brother and sister at the moment. Thank you. We all had a voice. Not so much my sister, because my sister, and she wouldn't be offended to my sister and my cousin, who didn't have any voices, they were like the highlight of our Christmas entertainment, because we would give them a song like Sad Movies, where it has to go up really. Yes. So my sister isn't so much of a singer. My brother that's passed, well, 2 brothers really have good voices. And the one that passed, he had the whole range from falsetto right down to right down there. And my youngest brother was a soprano in the choir.
Oh, wow.
Nobody was really interested. As I said, it wasn't an option for a career. It was just it was a hobby.
So when did you start to take music serious? Like what was it that you said, you know what, I think I can do a thing, you know, I think I can try this?
I think it's after, you know, doing all the sound systems and that. And my first real step onto the reggae platform was that, well, I think it was that point where UB40 just was going up the charts in reggae. I was in contact with somebody who's from Malta, Mario Friendo, and me, him, and another friend, Debbie Gittins, we decided, well, you know, UB40 can do it. Let's form a group and let's approach a company and take it from there. So we approached Ital Records. It was up in North London.
Give us a year, please. A year is
that's where I get really, really flaky. I think this might have been 1980, because I think it was I was 79 or 80, very big, early 80, yeah.
Okay.
So we took our song to Leonard Chin, and he said, well, and he asked us to sing. We sang. He gave us the name Legato because he said we sounded like that with our harmonies.
Oh, Legato. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said, you know, you can have a contract for a couple of songs, but the song you brought isn't really up to scratch. So we said, okay, fine, doesn't matter to us as long as we're in. So that was the first kind of dabble in, and we did 2 songs with them, Lately and Fool for Your Love, and those songs done really, really well.
They did, because I still have it. I have to find out. I have it.
Sorry, which songs were those?
Lately and Fool for Your Love.
And Fool for Your Love.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
I have
okay.
Yeah. So, in all honesty, he wasn't that impressed with Debbie and myself as backing vocalists. So after the name records, it really came to an end. It wasn't a upsetting end or anything. It was amicable because I was also a lot more leaning towards the rootsier stuff.
Okay.
I was just, you know, cutting my teeth then and getting all political and stuff like that. So, you know, it was amicable. It was a good experience. And Legato went on to do other songs, but I'm not sure that there were other releases.
Okay.
And then,
and then we're talking well before your association with Mad Professor.
Well, it's probably a year or so before, because I was just going to say, as one door closes, another one
opens, isn't it?
Yes. I'm with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Along came Margaret Thatcher and her
Margaret Thatcher, oh my God.
Yeah, along came Margaret Thatcher saying this, that about people who come to give their services here for free.
Yeah.
You know, I was an angry young woman, teenage, well, not teenage, but young woman. So the father of my sister's children, he's a singer, Rockaway. He asked me if I'd do some backing vocals for him at the studio. So he took me off and we went to, that's where I met Mad Professor. The studio wasn't a studio then, it was actually in his house, in his front room. So it was really just at the beginning of setting up what he has now. And he was saying, you know, he is setting up, he's going to set up a label and stuff like that if I was interested, and he was interested in original music as well as paying homage to the music that's before us. So basically that's how I met Mad Professor and basically started working with him when English Girl was Spawn. Yeah, English Girl was a song that came out of not just anger, but like, well, I suppose indignation, because I couldn't believe that there was this law now being passed after my parents, not my parents alone, obviously, but, you know, our parents came here as British citizens, right, and now being told they had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Or forfeit, you know, after they built up the country. So, and then there was that bit to it. And then there was the other bit, which was addressing our own problems inside our community. We taking on the divisions then, you know, and being born here in England and, you know, having Jamaican parents, Jamaican sister, Jamaican cousins, all this kind of thing. There was a division, and that term English Girl was, you know, it was almost the same as what the racists used to say to us out in the street. You know, it's the same effect, like, huh? You know, and you know, separate you from your blood. You know?
Yeah.
So, that song came out of a conversation. It is almost the conversation that I had with the person who said it to me on the wrong day. Well, the right day, because it's
the right day, yeah.
But the wrong day for him. So it just came out tumbling, and the beginning, when you hear the beginning of the song, whoa, 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 that was the bad word that I couldn't put in a song.
Yes,
really,
yes.
So that's how English Girl come about, And I'm saying, if you was born an Englishman, I'm sure you'd feel the same.
But back in those days, and I'm talking about maybe 70s, mid 70s to late 70s to the 80s, we were talking about extreme racism. We're talking about a time where racism was rife. You couldn't walk past a bridge without seeing the words "wogs, get out," whatever it was. And on top of it all, there was the divide between Jamaicans and Africans.
And other islands. My dad had friends from other islands, so he wasn't allowed to use the word small.
Yes.
Other islands. But all those that was nonsense.
Yeah.
Looking to be identify with the Africanness. They couldn't say that. It was crazy, but we were all subject to it.
The awakening for me was a song by Johnny Clark, and the song was Roots Nati Congo. All my parents were born in Africa, but we were born in Jamaica. You remember that song?
Yeah.
And I thought about that song very, very keenly, because my father is a Nigerian man and my mother is Jamaican.
Okay.
Not many people in school knew that my mother was Jamaican. And battling the racism, not just from people who looked like me, but other people who did not look like me, I'm thinking to myself, wait, how is that to be? Well, my parents were born in Africa, so that means anybody who looks like me is African.
To be your family.
Yeah.
The real awakening came when Alex Haley came out with Roots. Oh my God, have mercy. I was jumping with rejoice. They're gonna know that you are African, even if you're Jamaican.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Absolutely.
That was my awakening. What was your awakening?
Oh my gosh. What was my awakening? I think that kind of thing that Roots brought up. But before that, it was always kind of there, because when I was like about 8 or 9, my elder cousins used to go to the Black Power meetings. And I don't know if you remember the system then, you had to take the little one with you, so you couldn't get up to nothing. That's how they weren't allowed out unless they took me. So she would take me and just leave me in the corner there, but what I did realize over the years is that I soaked all that up, all that powerfulness, all that togetherness and strength in numbers and intelligence, knowing that Black people are intelligent. They know about economics, they know about medicine. All these things were just being built up in my psyche. I think the day when it all broke for me was there's a fire in New Cross, the New Cross fire.
Oh my God, how can we forget that?
Yeah. So the New Cross fire happened, and then there was a peaceful march which I was on. This peaceful march going to wherever we were going, and we got to a point in one of the bridges, and the police was lined off on the other side on horses. And then all of a sudden they started to come towards us. Now, in that crowd was big people to us, you know, parents and things like that. And they charged us. They came towards us. That was bad and not so bad. But the next day in the Sun newspaper, it said, blacks riot on whatever bridge. Like we riot and looted the place. And that was so far from the truth.
Right.
I think that was my moment when everything that I'd ever heard about Black Power and the race, everything just started to take set. And that kind of shaped what I mostly sing about, because I don't only sing roots, as you know. Right. I'm not one-dimensional. I love love, so you know. But that's why I kind of more went along the social commentary line, because it just had to come out.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm taking. So I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna flip flop between Sharon Mango and myself with this conversation. So and because your history is so important to my time, because I think we come from the same era in time, which I know about so fully. To me, it's like just yesterday. You know what I mean? So when you sing and when, especially when you're explaining your story, I totally get it.
Yes,
I totally get it.
100%.
You know? And you speak of that time because I had a sister in, you know, who was the very first time she had been interviewed by anybody, and her family had died in the New Cross fire. And the way they had reported it at the time was so far from the truth. Was so far from the truth. It was just diabolical. And I had her on my show roughly 10 years ago, and we were talking about this, you know. I'm assuming that time for you was your rude awakening.
Yeah, because yes, it was. It made me look at the system completely, properly, instead of how I had been looking at it. You know, just made me see that it is what it is. You're not imagining it. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy. It's a fact. That's how, you know, these things, institutional racism, and they totally exist. The same things that I heard them talking about at the Black Power meetings are still being spoken about today. So, you know, it exists.
Mm-hmm. So in order to put this in a song, what was the next thing for you to do? Did you pen the song English Girl itself, or how did that song come about?
Well, I just gave it the story. when literally when I had that exchange of words with that person, I went into a youth club where I was working at the time and wrote it down.
You wrote it down.
Don't call me no English girl. Just it just came flooded out, and I just wrote down.
Okay.
You know, it's not even grammatically. You know, it just came flooding out. So most of my songs are about the lyrics, not about the perfectness of.
And who wrote the song specifically?
I did.
You wrote the song. Okay. Yeah. And the reason why I say that, and I'm double asking you this question for a reason, because I saw it written somewhere where it was somebody other than yourself that wrote it. But you are saying you wrote this song.
Absolutely. In 5 minutes.
Okay.
There we have it.
Brilliant.
Horse's mouth directly. Yes.
So,
yes.
Sing piece of the song where you're right.
Well, English girl.
Yeah.
Don't call me no English girl, just In fact, in that time, I was Aurora, so I used to say, don't call me no English girl, just call me by my name. If you were born an Englishman, I'm sure you'd feel the same. My mother, my father too, if only they knew. All the promises of work and pay were only partway true.
Yes. Words.
Boy.
Don't call me no English girl, just call me by my name. If you were born an Englishman, I'm sure you feel the same. My mother, my father too, if only they knew all the promises of work and pay were only partway true. They said, come on over here, we've got plenty of work to share. And now 40 years later, we must go get some papers. So don't call me no English girl, just call me by my
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. Sharon Mango, take over because,
See that song right there now? That was identity for us. You know what I'm saying? That was our theme song, especially as Black women in England at that time, because it was like, that's right, now call me no English girl, call me name, have a name. My name is.
You know what I remember about that time, especially because I went to Harlesden, and Harlesden was a hub for, some of the greats came out of Harlesden. In our industry, we're not just talking about West London, we're talking about Labbergrove, we're talking about Harlesden. Some of the greats came out of there, and some of our legends resided in Harlesden. People like Gregory Isaacs to Dennis Brown, to you name them. They were all hanging around in Harlesden. I actually went to a root shop, and I was a vinyl junkie. I used to spend each month, I used to spend £300 per vinyl.
Yeah.
And I walked into this root shop, which I had never seen before. It was just on a corner somewhere. And I walked into that shop, and I heard this man playing some real dub root steppers. And your song was one of them.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah. And then, it's like, if not a couple of weeks or months later, I saw Rankin and came out with the answer to that.
Yeah, the toast slice of
Oh, Jesus. And then me hear Daddy Uri. And he's like, what? Seriously.
Real honor, real honor. Real honor.
Man. Those
Yes,
were anthem songs. That's what we call them. Those were you know what I'm saying? That was anthem songs for us.
I think so. I think
it
safely
was.
call it an anthem, innit?
It's anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your thing, Sharon Mango. Do your thing.
Those things, I mean, that was back then, and look at it now. It still resonates today. What you wrote, it still resonates today. It's the most amazing thing, and that's what you call classic. Classic.
In 2018, it was released for the Windrush because it just people thought it was a new song. People, for me, it was a whole new generation. thinking that song was related to the Windrush.
As DJ Maestro says in the comments, timeless music. Me don't know what I'm make today. Me don't know about the music, with the mad music that I make today. That is timeless masterpieces. That's the difference you made in the game. So when this song, which it did very well. What was the next step for you? Like in the mindset, like, okay, you did that. Where were you now with the next style of music? Like, how were you feeling at that time?
Because we're assuming you were still with Mad Professor at the time.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, I still work with Mad Professor up to today.
Okay.
We formed. He set up the Ariwa Posse.
Okay.
It consisted of Rankin and myself, Alan Kingpin from Reggae Regulars.
So Sister Aisha was there?
Well, Sister Aisha came after.
Oh,
She
okay.
did the original Posse, and Sandra Cross, and two backing vocals, Sandra Williams and Sandra Sampson from Sister Love. They were from Sister Love. And so we went out on the road showcasing our stuff. And that kind of put it into my head that this could do something. Because we started off by just touring the country, unis, then we moved into Europe. And what I found was most places that we went identified with the song. France, there was the African people there identified with it. Germany, a different set of people. So it kind of took off in its own rights. People just embraced it.
With you, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of thought, well, I'm going to try and do this thing. You know, make it into something. But yeah, we live in London, and reggae isn't in the place where you can really afford to live off it.
Yeah,
it's just totally mainstream. So of course, I had to go and do the studying and do whatever needs to do. You know, children start coming down, stuff like that. Have to look after your family. So I've always balanced the two, like having a day job, so to speak, but I never could leave music because that is my
passion. That's your passion.
Yeah,
right?
that's my passion. You know, all the other stuff is because I had to do that.
Right.
But yeah, so I still do work with the Mad Professor. We have a lot of unfinished business. You know, there are tracks that we collection of tracks really, which we've agreed to work on. So that's why we're still doing work.
Now, most of these tracks that you're speaking of now, this is stuff that you wrote, music that you've written and all of that. So I'm assuming now you know to register your music. At that time, how did you learn about that business?
I say we all had to learn it on the way, because when I speak for myself, when I started out, I didn't know anything about copyright and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to be fair to the Mad Professor. He did tell us about copyright in the beginning and the value in writing your own songs.
Okay.
But you know, copyright, but none of us understood it. So
what year did he inform you about that? Around about what year?
Probably when we're going into let me think now. We just went out on the road first, so we spent like at least 7 years on the road. So coming up to like Sandra started having some hits. Sandra Cross.
So would we be talking about late 80s, 90s?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Around about, say anytime from after 85, because there was Maccabee as well that they were picking. Okay. So then it kind of all came out that, you know, this is the way you need to go for the future, stuff like that. I think Rankin had probably left by then.
Okay.
When things started to go in that direction. But she left quite early, maybe
Okay.
after her first tour.
Okay.
I think she went on to do other stuff, you know. She went on to do very well. I think my professor linked her with another company or some other production. She went on to do quite well. She still is doing quite well as far as I understand.
Yes, Sharon, do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
Right. So, yes, I asked you the question now, so you know about your music. As a matter of fact, what was it in university? You said you went to uni. Like, what did you have music in your head? That was very curious. Music is what you want to do. What could possibly pique you at university? Like, what you'd be like, all right, I'll do this then. Like, what did you do?
I've done a number of things, you know. I'm qualified social worker. I've trained as a teacher. I've got a little diploma in broadcasting.
Okay.
I'm interested in people. So I found that I always veer towards people. So yeah, I've done these things, and I work as an outreach worker. I work with young people in the college, student welfare. Yeah, well, I've just always balanced the two.
Right, which works for you. Now, I'm always curious because to me that just coincides with your music and everything. It's about the people. It's about serving your community. You know what I'm saying? It's about uplifting your community, helping those who are down. It all encompasses the same thing. It just works with your music. Again, for me, that's always a curiosity that, you know, like I love music, but what am I doing? You have to make the money. You have to take care of your family. You have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
You have to have that every month thing because the bills come every month without mercy.
Exactly, without mercy, for real. If them coming, what do you like? It's on So after all of that, now you're doing that. What I mean, I assume that, of course, you take a little break of sorts. Like, what was your comeback? What made you say, well, I really want to get back into my thing, you know, like what was happening at that time?
Okay, so I never really left the scene. I wasn't recording for a long time. Around about the 90s, I recorded the album with Mad Professor.
Okay.
And lots of tracks, which are on lots of different albums. And I did take a back seat from recording after that, and I started doing BVs in other bands.
Okay.
Lots of bands, not lots of bands, but a few bands. While I was doing that, my tracks were still being played by Mad Professor. So occasionally I would then go and do gigs with Mad Professor, even though I wasn't putting anything new out, but I was still promoting that album. I am still promoting that album because there are still people who have never heard of me or heard it.
Right.
So, it doesn't stop. But yeah, I worked in Max Romeo's Charmax band for about 12, 13 years.
Okay.
Max Romeo, yes.
Romeo, who I listened to, got beaten for playing his song.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at my head. Turn it off.
And I'm like, what? You bought it, you know?
What dreams? Oh my God.
So obviously, you know, when I got the call to come work in this band from Black Steel, you must know Black Steel. Everyone knows Black Steel.
Yes.
So I got the call from him, you know, do you want it? And I joined them. So I was in that band for like about 13 years, worked with them.
Wow.
And you know, after a point, I was singing my own song, opening up the show for Max Romeo, and other backing vocalists did the same, Kitty Corbin. Yes, so yeah, I worked in Sister Band. Sister Band was a band put together by, her name was Nikki Culture. I think she put together, but that was a amalgamation of Akabu, the female band from West London, and Abakush. I think most of those musicians were from South London, but they were the group was put together, and so I joined them for a little while. Sister Band kind of disbanded. Akabu Band is still going now, but Sister, the other one. I started working with the younger artists that were coming up. Valerie Vibes, she's the guitarist in Akabu, but she invited me to kind of work on projects with her. She's working with some of the younger singers. You probably heard of them now, but they were just coming then, like Claire Angel. Brandon Pine, Marla Brown, Tassonia, quite a few of them, doing their backing vocals and taking them on the live circuit. It was about them doing their live thing. Of two more bands. I work with a Moroccan reggae band.
Oh wow!
Yes, and again these invited with Nana Genesis, Panache Culture. And they've invited us to sing lead with them as well as backing vocals. So that's why I say I've never really been away.
Right. Okay.
Also, One Love Orchestra, that's a Bob Marley tribute band. So just do Bob Marley songs. But yeah, I've been doing that in the background all the time. Just before lockdown 2018, me and my husband, Derek, we've been working on a label for the longest time, our own thing. So we finally set it up. Round about 2016 we started. We was doing the thing with the young people.
Yeah.
So round about 2018 I wrote this song. He just played a melody on his saxophone. I heard the words to the melody. And Today You Got Life, that was the song he played. Every day you awake, give thanks and praise, because you are blessed. Yeah, he played that, and that's the words I heard. I said, Derek, I can hear words for this song. And I can't even remember the journey to writing them. I just know I ended up with Today You Have Life. I said, yeah, we're going to release this. Then lockdown came. But you know what we said? Let's just release it anyway.
Yes.
Because even I wrote it like 2 or 3 years before, but the lyrics now was really poignant because we're now in a place where you have to be grateful every day you wake up, because with the COVID and that and all the vaccines, nobody knew where anybody was.
Yes, true.
So that's what kind of.
I tell you what, stick a pin for a second. Because when I came back into the UK, because I was living out in Florida for a number of years, and then I came back into the UK, I started to open up my social media again. That was one of the first songs I saw with you and an old-time brethren. I saw Opening the Fridge, Randy Valentine.
Yes.
And I said, what is? And this is what I heard.
Every day you awake, give thanks and praise, because you are blessed. You are blessed with another day. Every day you awake, give thanks and praise.
Sometimes it's hard to show love to someone else when you can't find the love inside yourself? What's stopping you from reaching deep within and search yourself? What's blocking you? Open your eyes and see. Even those experiencing darkest deprivation, their strongest motivation is self-preservation. No matter how much the suffering, it's the kind of world we're living in. But we're living, yes, we're living. Every day, you awake. No, you are blessed with another day.
Let me tell you what that song meant to me, because when I came back into the UK, it is like I started to call a friend of mine that I'd known for years back in the early 80s, late 70s, 80s. And that man was Delroy Washington.
Okay.
And then lo and behold, I came to realize he passed away. I'm like, what? Sooner or later, your song came out and it really put a perspective on life. It's like we take life for granted. And for me, to help me through what I was going through mentally, it was like, damn, is this what life is about? So before my time is up, and this is in real time, I'm giving you in real time because I don't hide what I go through in my life. You know, my life is an open book, you know. And I said to myself, let me just do the good things that I can for others. You know, it's not about my life, but how I can be a vessel to help others shine. You see where I'm coming from? That song you did opened up my cranium.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying. That song is powerful.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Very, very powerful. And that's what I see music as. I wish we could take music back to the days where it has the messages. When I didn't know nothing, I looked towards people like Burning Spear, and they taught me about who I was as a black person living in the UK, learning about UK history, which had no bearing on my life. And here is a man called Burning Spear teaching me about me. And that's what you were able, you're teaching me about the importance of life that I knew about, but it just took that, I don't know, what would you call it, Sharon? It took that validation. I don't know if it's validation
I guess you could say validation. Oh yeah, it took that. You know what I'm saying? That song.
To open up this about the facts of life. Me just give you a stripe, you know, me just give you a stripe.
Well, I'm just saying, you know what it is too, and because she's coming from where we come from, and hearing it from you, it made all the difference in the world. That is most important.
It made all the difference.
It made all the difference because you represent us. You know what I'm saying? First and second generation. We're first generation Black British. So yeah, I fall into the same category as you. So you represent us. You represent me. You know what I'm saying? I live here in the US, but my roots are still strong. You know what I'm saying? I've been there a long time. Yeah, I can take it out. I maybe can leave it. You represent us.
Stephen said, me too.
Yes.
For real. We're all in the same boat.
We're all in the same boat. And then that, I think, with lovers, roots and culture coming from England, for those who could not speak, you guys spoke for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For those who could not speak and project how they were feeling at the time, you guys, you know, Nana Genesis, Sister Carol, Rankin Ann, all these artists, you represent us. Well, we couldn't say nothing because when things were really bad, and my parents decided, like, let's go. We gotta go. My mother was worried about my brothers. She didn't want anybody to get caught up in jail. And, you know, I had a brother that even went to Oxford, and even when he went to go get a job in England, he went for bank manager, you know what I'm saying? And then when they was like, nah, you know what, we do have an opening at Tesco's. Like, what is that?
Yes.
And then have the paper then behind him. No, my mom said no. Can you believe that he had to go to Tesco's?
I'm laughing now, you know. Have you ever heard of a person like, I went to Wilson College of Technology. I studied electrical engineering. After getting my certificates, and I started applying for jobs, they told me I was overqualified.
Yeah.
You ever heard anything so stupid?
Anything give you the job.
These are the things that I go through that I even share with my daughter that she doesn't grasp. Yeah, but if you got the qualification, you're supposed to be able to get the job. It wasn't like that in my time.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Just
saying, as much as we've said all of that, you guys gave us hope. You know what I'm saying? It's through music. Music is love. Music unifies the world. Even if them not talk with language, they understand what you're saying.
Absolutely.
That is the most amazing thing. So you represent us. You gotta know.
It's one of the things that I love about. I love connecting with people in that way. And when you say that, it is so uplifting.
Yes.
And it's just inspiring to just carry on until like my eyes close.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the journey is for us all. Not to give up. Continue on your journey, because you never know who you're touching. You never know that person at their lowest point, and they hear that song to be like, what am I doing? Let me get up. I can do this.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful thing ever to know that you can touch somebody's soul through music and words.
It's one of the things I really like about, you know, about the exchange, because people usually leave them happy as opposed to angry or sad. Or,
yes.
Yeah, people are happy. Glad to see you. Glad to embrace all you know, what the message that you're giving.
Yes, without question.
Let me ask you about the time when you first started touring. What was that like for you? Because you came out with, and I'm assuming that English Girl was your defining tune that really put you on the map. And, you know, you started touring and doing all these shows across the world, especially Europe. What was that like for you doing that?
That was big. I mean, young and inexperienced. So, you know, we were like a family. So, you know, in any family, there's going to be arguments and disagreements and stuff like that. So there was all that bit. But reaching all those audiences, especially when I started to learn how, like everywhere I went, somebody identified with the story, was really big. I was thinking, this is what's wrong with reggae music, because everywhere we went, always packed. You know, what's wrong? Why we can't really have this be on the same standing as people who don't look like us doing reggae. But it was really a big thing. I can still remember some of the first shows. Wasn't always positive. We went to one place in London at the King's College, and they were expecting rock. So
really?
they sat at the front like this.
Shame.
What we did is we just said, you know what, just treat this like a rehearsal. So we just kept.
That was the right thing to do. That's exactly how you do it.
We just got on with it. My very first performance was terrible. I don't know. I just was overcome by nerves, and I was moving so far back. I just see nearly hit the drums, and then I see Professor saying, "Come forward." But the second night, we went to a place in it's either Glasgow or Edinburgh. And that place had a reputation that if they didn't like you, they started smashing up chucking things on the stage and smashing up the furniture.
Lord have mercy.
So, well, yeah. So when I walked out there, and I'm like the first, when I walked out there and started singing, and they like, oh, you know, enjoying it, I thought, yeah, this is the best job ever. And I was a million miles away from the first performance. It's like I've been doing this all my life.
Right.
It's a really but you never stop learning, because I'm still learning lessons on the road. But that was the learning curve: how to do your thing, how to keep yourself safe, on before you even had to think about them things. But touring with the Ariwa Posse was good examples. You know, there were some examples of what not to do on the road. Good, and like some of the elder ones, like Kingpin and them, they would spend hours talking with Kingpin about, you know, spirituality and stuff like that, and learn a lot from people like that. But yeah, it was a long learning curve, still learning.
I want to ask you a question, and that question is, because I know, because English Girl by far is your biggest tune. Like I say, you did collaborations with Daddy Uroy. They remixed it again and again, you know, and it is one of your anthems. How comes you have never done a collaboration with Rankin Ann?
Well, we used to do it on stage.
Right.
And I think it would very much, if she hadn't left, I think it would be very much a feature, because that's like, so when she came out and started DJing on the rhythm, it kept going, English Girl. It just, you know, it was magic. Right. And that's everywhere we went. So I think had she stayed, I think that would have definitely been a feature. But it came out as two separate songs, because on English Toast, I don't think there's actually any of my vocals in there. I can't remember.
You know, I'm actually thinking to myself, that is a collaboration that the world is longing to see.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you get that same vibe.
Absolutely.
But I'm just saying, I'm putting it into the atmosphere. That is a collaboration the world would love to see. Two queens on the same stage, piggy banking off of one another.
Yeah.
That's how we started out. The show was magic. There was something for everyone in that showcase. You know, there was Sandra did lovers. She did a little roots as well. Sister Love, even though they were doing the backing vocals, they had a song that just blew the house, and that was like a soul song.
Who is Sister Love again?
Sister Love, oh gosh, I think they sang good.
I heard of them.
Goodbye, little man. Goodbye, little man.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Sister Love.
Okay.
They got like Sandra Sampson. She's an amazing singer. And she used to do like a soul song, you know, in the middle of the set. And so it was very, very varied. There's something for everyone who came to those shows.
Right.
Your sounds.
I tell you what I want to do is I want to play a couple tunes, one or two. All right?
One or two. Yes, we have to.
You know, in my catalog, you know what I mean? And one of the songs that I do want to play is this song, which I do believe came after Today You Have Life, which is this song here. I'm not too sure who the producer is, but maybe you can enlighten me. I seem to think it's Randy Valentine. I could be wrong. But tell me about this tune, which is called Love Is Everywhere.
The truth.
in life where you can't feel love. How could it be so? I don't think so. This is a stage in life when you can't feel love. I don't think so. How could it be so? When love is everywhere and it's free to share. Oh, you're never too old to know. You're never too old to feel it flow. It's everywhere for us to share. You're never too old to know. You're never too old to feel it flow.
Bang! Never soul from a tribe of Shaka Soul, Ethiopia, Africa. When I laugh, when I linger, when I play, in that time you say it. Original Rising Awareness show. We are talking about 10-star general. Yeah, man, Sharon Mango. Bang, bang! Turbulence to the future. Only man, you like King Selassie. Rastafari, keep it accurate and royal.
Tell me about that song. Randy Valentine, not true?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Randy Valentine was one of the artists that was on that project with Valerie Vibes, working with Soul Rebel Band. And ever since, we would, again, me and Nana Genesis, would do their backing vocals.
Okay.
Just be a guidance for being on the road, because they hear loads of songs, but they were just starting to do live tours. And ever since Randy Valentine saying, you know, we need to work together, the new generation and the elders need to work together to keep this thing alive. You know, we can work together. It's not a matter of, you know, the new ones come, the old ones just go into the background. And cut a long story short, in January 21, he sent me that track and said, you know, do whatever you can on it, see how you go with it. Around about, I think, July, August, he got back to me, said, you free yet? Free. And I went to his studio. Again, that song was done in like 5 hours. We went through it, created it together, because I had some of the words, some of the melody. He put his little bit in, and that's what came out of the song. His influence is heavily on that song, his track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That track for me is like a you know, it has the jazz feel, the what we call in England, like that
different elements in there.
It's different elements, but still you feel the reggae. And that's the new age now, you know what I'm saying? It's like a fusion.
Yeah.
It's like a fusion. So it's
Jazz
just
blues fusion.
The key thing is that the key thing is that you said you can feel it, because music seems to have lost its feeling. You can hear the music, but you can't feel it. Like if you go to a Jah Shaka dance, you can feel the music.
Right.
Know? But yeah, it's yeah.
What have we lost in the music today? What are we losing?
I don't know. I think it's I think when we swapped over from revs per minute to beats per minute, it just made a difference to how the music feels. And that in itself is like one little part of the reggae lost. And I had to explain, but yeah.
Do you feel the essence of our music, like the fundamentals of our music has been lost?
It just feels like it's I say the same music developed, like everything develops over time. People get re-innovated. But yeah, as Sister Sharon said, that's where the music is going.
It's like how I'm seeing music now, and a lot of artists from our era. You know what I mean? It's like you have to move with. You don't lose yourself, but you have to move with the times. You know what I'm saying? You find your place where you fit in. You just have to move with the times, like how the fusion, because everything is a fusion. The one thing I've realized in this game is that reggae is rooted in almost everything.
Everything
coming out now, no matter what them want, even up to Beyonce. I mean, enough people are having war with them saying, wait, I might sing a teeth in her. All of that song, they are finding the rudiments.
Would you say
our
then,
music?
let me just piggyback off of what you're saying, Sharon. So are you saying that, because I saw a post today where it seemed like an orchestra, right, had this black artist, I forget her name, and she's singing reggae songs, reggae classics, in a repackaged way. Not in the way that me and you are familiar with, but repackaging reggae. Do you feel like our music is being repackaged?
I think to a certain
I don't know. It's just a crazy question I'm throwing into the atmosphere.
No, but I honestly think that it's just a situation where they're using that to almost create something for themselves. Like, I consider that our roots and our culture, our lovers, is us. That's us. And I see the mainstream now trying to make it theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, almost like they created it. Like, no, you didn't. Because the fundamentals are in the back. We know where it's coming from, but like, but this sound like, or this sound like, you know what I'm saying? I feel that they're trying to make something for themselves when we've already created that, if that makes sense.
What does Sister Audrey think?
I think they always appropriate our music and package it in different ways. Even before we was doing reggae, rock, everything is always coming from the African community.
It is.
And then it's repackaged so that it's acceptable for the masses of where you
exactly.
I think they're always doing that. I see the line getting thinner between who sings reggae now,
right?
You know?
Yes.
And as always, there's only a certain few that would really get into being able to not have to do another job as well as sing. Reggae, yeah.
Right.
I want to come to some of your achievements if I can. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Please bear with me, people. Let me see if I can pull this off. You can see that?
Yeah.
Sister Audrey, tell me about this achievement.
So completely out of the blue in 2018, I got a phone call from Caroline Williams in Aquizm. She's a keyboardist, telling me that I had been basically that I'd won this award, and it's an award, as it says, just in recognition. It's not for the best anything. It's just in recognition of
for your contribution.
These people, I can't receive
HICREC.
It stands for
Creative Economy.
Yes, thank you. Oh, you know about them, good. So these people, this is what they do. I mean, they do a lot more than that. They really promote education and everything for young people who are in the arts, all of the arts. But every now and again, they give this award so that those people can. John Downey is the key person that organized this. He does so much for young people in the arts. They have this UK unsigned competition every year, and that's a range of artists. They have the competition, there's a winner, and they have this awards to people who've gone before them so that they can understand that there's a journey. It's not all X Factor, you just get big. There's a journey, and people have gone before you. Also, they want them to know that a lot of their music, like hip hop and rap, has come from reggae.
Yeah.
So, they usually acknowledge reggae artists. That year it was myself and Dennis Al Capone. Can you imagine how I felt to be honored at the same place as Dennis Al Capone? Another person that I was like listening, in the dance and all of that. So
wow.
Lots of things that other people see achievements as having all these number ones. I see this thing as a great achievement. Especially as I haven't had loads of number ones and stuff like that, like a lot of other artists go that road. But this to me was the first of the great achievements in my lifetime.
Then there's another achievement that you received. Over 35 years in the industry.
That's the same. That's the award that went with it. That was the certificate.
Oh, that's the award that went. Okay, I'm with you.
So the most recent one I received was from the Reggae Fraternity, International Reggae Day. They had this poll where they asked people to vote for their favorite song of 2021, and anybody on their playlist, Reggae Fraternity playlist, which is Colin Brown, was eligible. And I found out about it 2 days before the closing date. And I said to people and said, well, I didn't know I was eligible, so you need to vote for me. And then a couple of days later, I saw that I had won, which was absolutely the last thing in the world I expected. I even said to Colin, well, thank you for the promotion. I'm not under any illusions about winning. And he says, well, it's about fan base and it's done properly. There's nothing that can be fixed or anything like that. Once your fans vote for you, that is it. So he said when the competition opened, they had a clear winner up until 2 days before the competition, the voting closed, and then they said, they just saw Sister Audrey come from behind and win by a long shot, not even a short. People came out and voted. That was very humbling, but again, encouraging that, regardless of age or anything else, just carry on doing your thing.
Absolutely.
We applaud you. We applaud you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have to applaud you for your achievements, of what you've done for the industry. You've done it diligently, without blemish. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You're a shining example of how to do it. If I had an artist who wanted to get into the industry and said, how do I do it? Show me a way forward, I would have to say, go check out Sister Audrey.
Oh, that's so kind. I would be happy to share. And nowadays there are things like the Reggae Fraternity where we didn't have that, where we could go and find out about producers, find out that you're entitled to your copyright and things like that. But that's the kind of advice I would be giving to people that will come and definitely steer them in the direction of knowing what they need to be doing.
When you spoke of the Reggae Fraternity, talk to us about the Reggae Fraternity and the essence.
So the essence is just that they've set up this thing that artists can go and find out. Say you want to become an artist, you can go and find out about producers. You can just find out that the steps that you need to take, the finance, everything that really needs to be done. It's not like us walking in blindly, don't know anything about protecting our.
Finally, there's help.
Yes.
Right.
And promotion as well, because they obviously promote your things, and because they want to really keep that we produce good reggae music here in the UK. We are the UK. We can't pretend we're Jamaican or anything else. We are from the UK, and we produce some really, really good music, and they really promote that.
That's right. That's right. And you know, that's what this platform is about also honoring those in the UK as well as anywhere else in the world.
Anywhere
You know what
else,
I mean?
yeah.
That's right.
We have to acknowledge the fact that UK played a huge part during the 70s and the 80s
Mm.
for reggae music. As a matter of fact, I remember a time when the UK was known as the capital for reggae music.
Yeah.
Regardless of what anybody wants to say, whatever Europe is doing out there, Europe, I mean, UK was the hub for reggae music. It was the porthole where, you know, in order to get recognized, even Jamaican artists, for them to get
Yeah.
recognized, you know, you had to come to the UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
That's what I know the UK to be. So UK
Yeah.
has played a huge part when it comes to reggae music. So again, we need to give ourselves a huge clap. You know what I mean, Sharon?
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yes. Of which Sister Audrey has won.
Yes.
Sister Audrey, you know, so we love you like cook food like ackee and saltfish, all that greatness, man.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, their love and gratitude.
Yeah. If I didn't see the awards, I would have asked you, do you feel loved? But you must feel loved after receiving awards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So after some years of like, you know,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because the 2018 was the first, and it wasn't even a new release, English Girl, it was re-released.
Re-released,
So,
right.
yeah, so remixed and stuff. So
Right.
that's the first step for me to say, okay, you are, and now you have a whole new audience. Some of the audience are children of the people that wrote the original song. You know, how many years ago? I said, oh yes, my parents used to play this all the time, and so it's opened up to a whole new audience, and I did feel loved. But this one, the last award, people chose that. It wasn't up to the DJs to select and push who they feel should have it.
Right.
The people chose it. So that definitely, I
That
feel.
spoke volumes. I think that in itself definitely speaks volumes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is
Yeah.
there anything else you would like to say before we round up this conversation?
Well, thank you for having me. Thank everyone for tuning in to share, spend this time with us, get to know a little bit about me. There's lots more we could talk about, but you know, another time maybe. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for searching for me for 10 years. I can't believe you've done that.
Yeah, it's true. He's not lying.
I know he's not lying, but it's just,
yeah, girl.
Is it just that you don't like doing interviews, or what is the case with that? Because me want to know.
Now we have to talk up the things then.
Like how you mention it now.
Well, I don't mind doing it just depends on the interviewers.
Right.
Sometimes, again, when people have their own agenda, some places I've been that I got tripped up before I knew better and how to, you know, conduct myself. One time in Australia, was having a conversation. The woman went off air and she says to Maccabee, how many children you got? And then she asked the other person, she asked me, and they came to between us about 15 children. And then she went back on the air and said, you know, between us, we got 15 children. And, you know, I wonder who's looking after Sister Audrey's children. His hair.
Right.
I thought, no, I'm not doing anything else without knowing what you want to speak about. There'll be no surprises, stuff like that. So I just got a bit wary. But now things are different. Especially COVID changed everything in terms of how we look at life. And, you know, now I would say to that white person, why would you ask me a question like, you know, this sort of thing, what picture you're trying to paint and stuff like that. So yeah, I did used to shy away from interviews, most definitely, but I felt totally safe to do this interview today because you know, ranking and
ranking on. That's our family there, ranking, and we love ranking and like Aki and Saltfish too.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah, and we really want to thank you for your contributions to our industry. You really done it diligently. I put my hands up. I'm a big fan of yours. When I heard that song and I heard that bass line blaring out from the record shop, I said, weird.
Oh, thank you.
Real thing, you know? And then to hear that you did a collaboration with the big boss himself, Daddy Uroy. What? You know what a joy that was?
Yeah, for me too.
How did that collaboration come about? Share that.
So, and it's rather special as well because Uroy wasn't doing anything for the longest time, and basically, Mad Professor met up with him in America and couldn't believe he wasn't really doing anything, and basically said, "Look, do this comeback album." So, long story short, that's how. And then he chose English Girl to be the title track of the album.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's like, oh my gosh, can things get any better? Yeah,
True.
so yeah, that's how that came about. Yes,
that's true.
Are you named Queen? You know, are you named Queen?
Queen.
One of them.
One of them, yes. But you are one of the queens. We're just giving you a title.
Thank you.
Am I lying, Sharon Mango?
No, sir, you are not. I'm letting you have that glory.
Because if I'm not lying, you have to tell me, you know.
No, sir. We just letting you bask in your glory. You have the chance to tell her.
There you go.
Queen.
Let's just play a few bars of that tune.
Is dedicated to each and every one of my brethren and sisters all over the world. Yeah, tell to me, sister.
Don't call me no English girl, just call me by my name.
Don't do that.
If you were born an Englishman, I'm sure you feel the same.
When I made you a true born African, hey, so not your true born African. Pull it up again, pull it up again, pull it up again.
Sister Audrey is gonna get me going. I'm telling you. Now, here's another thing that came to my mind because I heard there was a conversation with you and a Jamaican man about English girl. Now, tell me about that conversation, if you will.
As I said,
rudeness, not true. They get English girl.
yeah.
Because they used to refer to English girls as beef as well.
Yes.
You remember that time, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have the opportunity for that. He just named him.
You named him up.
And named his head off. and the song.
Tell us what you said. Tell us what you said.
I said,
ignore me.
Expletive. Right? You don't even know yourself.
I tell you what, we're gonna play that one more time. Let me tell you something. Ranking and said, "Don't call me no English girl. Just call me by my
sound is
name."
dedicated to each and every one of my brethren and sisters all over the world.
Don't call me no English girl, just call me by Englishman. I'm sure you feel the same.
Well, I made you a true born African. Hey, so not your true born African. See, but me living in a different land. None of us are living in a different land. You see me woman never born. When I poop on never born. Saying so not the one woman. Think of those days so not living in a different land. Don't do it.
Don't call me no English girl, just call me by my name. Why? If you were born an Englishman, I'm sure you feel the same.
And if you don't know fair right name, just say Ariwa, yeah? Do it, yeah. So we are true born African. Say not your true born African. Living in a Jamaica. Sometimes we living in America. And I may live in a London. Living in a this land. But they rough in a Babylon. They did dread down in a Babylon. Say that he rough in a Babylon. Good day. But they dread down in a Babylon. You know.
If you were born an Englishman, I'm sure you feel the same.
Got no one to blame. You'll be the same. We can't play the game if you're not true born African. You're living in a distant.
We have to honor Rankin and too, you know, because of you, she did this song. Wait. Another one. We're gonna find that song. We're gonna find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
She was the original.
Yes.
For this tune.
Yes. Wait, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Hold on. Here we go.
Tell them.
Was it that one?
Tell people what it's all about. Just spilling lies from their mouth.
Them just running up the mouth, don't know what them talking about. But it
Special request to all the people in England.
I tell you what, I need to find it. Hold on. For some reason, it escaped me. All right. Anyway, I wish I could find it on my set right now, but I can't find it. But you encouraged Rankin and to do a version on that particular song called English Girl. And we want to thank you for coming on the show to actually share with us your musical history and journey. You know, we realize your enormity in the industry, your contributions to the industry. We want to say we love you like cooked food.
Thank you. Love you too.
More than you would ever realize. We honor your contributions. We're not hiding on top. We're talking it out into the atmosphere, right? Yeah. And we're just giving you your stripes. No. Am I talking out of line, Sharon Mango?
No, you are not. Listen, no, you are not. Tell her the truth. Let her know. She'll believe us. Tell her.
Absolutely, I do. And then,
so we come to the part of the show where we, ask people to unmute if they have any questions for our guest today, who is the great Queen Sister Audrey. If you have any questions for Sister Audrey, just simply unmute. Tell us where you're calling from, your name, and any questions you may have for her. So if you do have any questions, now is the time to do that.
Greetings.
peace.
Rankin and
Greetings, Miss Mango.
Yes.
Brother. I first want to say 10-star, big up for your perseverance. Because you got there in the end. 10 years and you got there.
Yeah, 10 years.
You know.
Perseverance goes a lot, as I say. Patient man ride donkey. There you go.
Yes.
Greetings, Sister Audrey.
Greetings,
Audrey, my sister. I'm telling you, you can't imagine how happy I am to see you and hear you on this platform, because you know, nothing less than you deserve, you know. And I'm really glad to hear about your awards. I didn't realize that you had received awards, because I've always felt that you're one of the artists, female artists, that has never received her dues, you know, for what you've done, for your contribution, your consistency, your talent, you know. So I'm glad that, you know, yeah, nearly 40 years on, you've been recognized, you know, with an award. But I just want you to know that, you know, what you have done and contributed is absolutely fantastic, you know, and I have so much respect for your material. The fact, you know, your roots and culture, reality and lovers equally as strong in all those areas, you know, which, you know, for, you know, females in reggae, that's kind of a rarity, you know.
Oh, thank you so much, Rankin. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, the great thing about Sister Audrey, I'm telling this to the world now, is that Sister Audrey, you know, it's very much linked to, you know, where I initiated, especially like my live work, you know, because I know the first live stage show I did, and it used to be the run-up that Sister Audrey would come on first, and usually the last song in her set was English Girl, and I'll be backstage, and I know that I've got 5 minutes to go on stage. There'll be tension, excitement, because I know it's me on stage next. But it was that your song, Sister Audrey, always built that excitement in me, because I know that I'm coming on after you with my combination style. And so anytime I hear it, it always brings back those days of us, you know, sharing a stage, you know, together. And, you know, those were good days. Whatever we say, they were good days, you know. And I think we were, you know, we're kind of blessed that we had that experience in our kind of early careers, you know.
Exactly. I say this every day. I'm so blessed.
Yeah, and you know, as Tensar said, you know, your tune, because when I went in the studio and Mad Professor ran, you know, your lyrics, and I thought, well, you know, that's exactly how I feel about what's happening to me as a young person, you know, who, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a Jamaican, because my mother, my father Jamaicans, my granny, my great granny, my siblings, all Jamaicans. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm a Jamaican, happen to be born in England. So why I can't be English girl, you know? And it was like an insult, and it was derogatory. It really was. And as you said, it was that indignation when they call you English girl. So when I heard yours, I thought, wow, this is someone, you know, who's saying exactly how I felt, and then I put it in my own style, you know. And so as I said, lots of respect for, you know, your content, you know, in your songs, you know.
Thank you. We were a great team, that for sure. That you lit up that stage when you walked on there and started your thing.
What was that? The Derby show?
No, we had many shows. We had many. I mean, the whole Ariwa Posse tour that, you know, from England right across Europe. We were all part of the posse. You know, obviously, I stopped touring when I left Ariwa in '86, and just to set the record straight, because one thing about me, I have to be straight. I left Ariwa, and I wasn't given any links from Mad Professor, because there was animosity when I left, so there was no links given. So whatever happened after
Sorry.
Is what I had to make my own links, which was difficult because you know, I didn't have a lot of connections in the reggae world. So but yeah, I went on to different things. But yeah, just to set the record straight. Yeah, I left
it was a mistake on my understanding on that.
Yeah, no, because I do know stories go out, and you know, like, you know, what them say, what's that, fake news? But we won't go there. But so yes. Anyway, just to say, and the other thing I'm going to say to you, Sister Audrey, or ask you, is what you felt, I mean, then and even now, about the unity among the women in reggae. I mean, I think back then I didn't really see it. Posse was different, but in general terms in the reggae industry. But what do you think about the unity among the female artists in reggae now in the UK?
Now I think people, because women are getting stronger, and it's a different era. In the 80s, women still didn't, you know, the women could still get beaten up by their husband, and the police would come along and say it's a domestic. So the rights were different then, and so the attitude was even worse. But now that women have come out, some have embraced feminism, some have just said womanism, not even feminism. I'm a woman, and you. I think it's slightly different. People respect women a lot more in the business now. I think because people are more learned about, you know, how to conduct and things like that. I think the unity has improved. I wouldn't say it depends on where you go, but definitely in the circles, some of the circles I've been in, I can't say all, but you know, there seemed to be this new wave of where women supported other women. You know, they'll go out and see their shows and stuff like that, whereas there tended to be that singular thing when we were coming up. If you weren't a certain artist, you wouldn't get, how can I put it? It was different. Let's just say it was different. I think it's a little more like there's been a lot of movement towards, you know, women doing their thing, women doing it really well. Right. Female groups have sprung up, not so much in reggae, but you know, more. I think it has developed definitely from.
Well, that's good. That is good to hear, because I think I've always been disappointed, you know, when I look at the industry when I was kind of in it strongly, you know, the lack of unity and lack of support. So I was just wondering how you found it now. Was probably you're more on the front line, you know, than I am at the moment. So I think we do, as women in reggae, we do still need to have the unity among us, because I still think there needs to be more respect for what women do in reggae today, you know. So I think if we as women don't support one another, and when we can bring someone forward, you know, or bring someone alongside us, I think that is so important that we recognize that is our role, you know. So I'm glad that you are seeing that kind of progression, you know. So I'm going to come off the line now. I mean, I won't chat too much, but so glad to see Sister Audrey. Lots of respect, and one day, hopefully that combination will happen. Because them said 10 stars speak it out. So let us hope it does happen. And and just to say that, you know, my track was titled not by me. So when you see us last English talks, that wasn't my title. Me call it no call me no English girl. That's my title for my song, which I wrote. So just in case, you know, people are confused, but yeah, it was mistitled as far as the English toast. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that controversial road. But like I said, glad to see you, glad to hear you, Sister Audrey. 10-star Sharon Mango, all the love and all the best, Sister Audrey, for the future, and just keep going strong. Take care. Lots of love. All right.
Thank you, Rankin. And thank Rankin and his family around here. She's part of the team, and we love her just like that. And we're hoping for that collaboration to happen. I got my fingers crossed.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I'm throwing it into the atmosphere. Anybody else want to say anything to Sister Audrey while we're still here? Anybody has anything to say, just unmute, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and it's just as simple as that. All right. So anybody else? Okay.
Greetings. DJ Maestro here. I was waiting for Beverly to come in because I don't want Beverly to cuss me off because I've been coming before. But Beverly, I don't know where she is. Anyway, greetings each of them. Greetings each of one.
Greetings.
Queen Sister Audrey, man. I'm telling you, I've actually, what I've got to say is, I think me and you grew up together in a way that I've been following you from probably the 80s. I've been following you from the 80s.
That is grow up together.
Yeah. So and I tell you, you've been around for so long. Don't take it the wrong way. It's all good. That's you've been around a song way, and you're still going. I mean, I think these youngsters got a lot to look up to, and they should be looking up to you. Your staying power in this industry has been immense because you just keep on going, you just keep on trotting through, and it's a blessing for me to listen to your journey this evening, today. It's been absolutely beautiful. And also what I should say is, Tenstar didn't play my favorite tune from you, If I Love You. Did you play that?
If I Love You. Oh.
That is my favorite Sister Audrey tune. I always play that tune, you know.
Right.
So anyway, Sister Audrey, just keep on doing your thing, my sister. Pure blessings to you. I love what you're doing, and more power to you.
Yeah.
All the best. Okay. Take care.
Thank you, DJ Maestro. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes.
As a matter of fact, I think DJ Maestro played one of your songs on Friday on his show, Lovers Rock Radio.
Yeah.
And he's a big supporter of UK artists, you know, so we urge anybody who is a lover of reggae music, especially UK lovers and so forth, tune into Lovers Rock Radio with DJ Maestro. All right? Yeah. Anybody else who would like to say anything? Anybody else? We want to give you some time to...
You're still here.
Yes, she is, Miss Notes.
Is that Miss Notesy?
Are you still here? All right. Yes. Okay. Blessings all. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, no. It's evening now, yeah? In Sharon Mango's world, it's afternoon.
It's afternoon. Yes.
Yeah. Queen Sister Audrey, friend, yeah, beautiful wife of my longtime producer and brother. Yeah, wow, it's my family. Your production family is my family. Okay. Anyway, this is a beautiful interview. Yeah. I wasn't going to talk, you know, my finger was doing a whole heap of talking. Yeah, my voice is kind of hoarse, you know. But this is a beautiful interview, and there's so much people here, and blessings to all that's up here tonight. Okay. Blessings. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful podcast. Okay. How do you feel about it, sis? Enjoy it?
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful for me. Yeah, just to meet with genuine people who have the music, you know, at the heart of things. It's fabulous.
Yes,
absolutely.
Man. You deserve it, you know. And you see that song Every Day?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. It lifts me. It does. It lifts me because I need lifting. So when you play it and watch the video that goes with it, it's really uplifting.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, man. So them being there, want to see some more of them there. Okay, sis?
You will.
Okay. All right, but
thanks, Beverly.
Listen, you hear my throat going on it, going. Yeah. 10-star Sharon, bless you, my God.
Thank you, Beverly.
Take care of your voice, babe.
Rankin and love you, girl. Yeah, so, yeah, man, bless you all.
Thank you, Beverly. All right. That's our family right there, the team, the SPRB team.
That's right. That's right.
And anybody else before we round up? We want to give you time to say whatever you need to say before we round up. And if not, we shall proceed. We just want to say once again, you know, I do anyway. I just want to say maximum respect for finally coming on our platform to share your story. It's been an absolute honor. We celebrate you and we really love what you're doing. I, as a matter of fact, always look out for what's coming next from you, you know. And for you to share your story on our platform has been a blessing. Sharon, would you like to say anything before we?
Well, of course, you can't take it all. So anyway, Queen. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been an honor. As you know, 10-star said, it really is. It's been an honor. It's such a joy to share this space with you. We sincerely hope you will come on again. without question. And now you know how we work. We not go by no script. We just ourselves. And we're going to ask you what we need for ask you, and we're going to give you what we need to give you. And that is the best way to be. I hope you have felt comfortable.
Absolutely.
I know that you don't do a lot of interviews, but these are the type of interviews you're supposed to do. But since we are one of a kind, we don't expect you to do nothing with nobody else. We got you. Anything you come out, make when you're about it so we can blast it to the world.
I certainly will. I certainly will. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Ranking and for linking us. Thank you, 10-Star General, for having such patience and determination. This is absolutely one of the best interviews I've ever done. I just feel
that deserves an applause. Come on.
We did our job.
We have to clap for that.
Yes.
All right.
And thank you to all the people that tuned in, really, to join in this conversation and listen to my journey. Thanks.
We have a lady stroke person from France, and we'd love to have you back again, Sister Audrey, Queen Sister Audrey, by the way. And we'd love to have you back. But this person says, "Hi from France. Please one day interview Sister Audrey on her Black History studies."
Oh my gosh. Black History Studies. You haven't got time for this. But
Don't worry, we'll make it happen another time.
I just finished this course on Black History Studies, and that has really, everybody should do this course, Black History Studies with Mark Simpson and his wife, Charmaine Simpson. It will give you so much. Everything you know is true, you will find. The evidence for it, because that's the point. You can say this, but anybody, if you're trying to change someone's mind about what they already know, you have to produce the evidence. Well, that's what this course does. It tells you the books where you can go and find exactly what you've always thought. It's one of the, again, as I said, I'm not going to stop learning until I close my eyes, and that's one of the things. It's the best time I've ever spent developing myself. Black History Studies, Mark Simpson.
I guess along with that comes a gut feeling. I mean, I have a gut feeling about our history, before we round up, in terms that those who are in power are deliberately steering us away from who we are as individuals.
Suppress it. They're trying to suppress it. That's what it is.
Absolutely. So not only do you find the evidence of that, but there are ways that just will help us out to be. And of course, I will be passing that on through song, through talk, the same way which I learned things. I will be passing those messages on.
Absolutely.
Sister Audrey, Queen Sister Audrey, by the way. I do give myself a slap for that. Queen Sister Audrey. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed my, every coming up to 2 hours and a bit time, doing this interview with you. It's been an absolute blessing. Thank you for coming on. Sharon, would you like to say anything before we end the show?
Just again, thank you so much. May God continue to bless you on your journey, because we're looking forward to what's coming, sister. Queen sister. We can't wait, and we are here for you.
You'll be one of the
honor
first.
You today.
Yes, thank you. You'll be one of the first to know.
Okay, that's fine too. Thank you.
Well, we're going to end the show with this song, and it's an old-time song. Sorry, DJ Maestro, the song you're asking for. Sorry, I don't have it in my collection. However, I do want to play this song right here, which is called Africa is Zion.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
baseline well crucial.
Africa is Zion, and Zion is Africa. Africa is Zion, and Zion is Africa. Ethiopia is Mount Zion. Ethiopia is Mount Zion. Them tell us that Africa is Africa. The Bible tell us it's Zion. Them tell us that Africa is Africa. The Bible reveal it's Zion. Ethiopia is Mount Zion. Ethiopia is Mount Zion. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Said the Bible reveal it. Say I've been seeing money in Africa, Angola, Nigeria. Say Kenyan money in Africa, Liberia, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia is Mount Zion. Ethiopia.
Well, that's all, folks. That's my line. Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all. That's all, folks.
Can I go home now?
I'm 10-Star General from Stockade Promotions, and I'm out of here.